Oh, oh, oh. Welcome to Meaningful Morning. For those who are younger, I want you to think about your grandparents and what their morning routine was, what their relationship with Bhagavad Gita was. Those who are older, please think about your parents. What was their morning routine like? What was their relationship with Bhagavad Gita? As I think about my grandparents and my parents, their morning routine and relationship with Bhagavad Gita tended to focus on chanting. Them chanting with their own mouths or hearing this with their ears. It didn't flow into that which is more deep, that which is lived. Maybe this can be labeled as being passive. Now I want you to think about your morning routine, your relationship with Bhagavad Gita. We undoubtedly chant the verse, the Sanskrit, we study the word, but what we're doing together is not about chanting, it is about feeling. Feeling Sri Krishna's love, feeling this is the right way to live. This is active. I'm reading to you a portion of a lovely book called Mysticism of the Mahabharata, which shares what I've shared in a more educated, poetic way. While the Mahabharata enacts the drama of life in all its majesty, in all its mystery, this unique scripture is also a powerful promoter of that special vision of mystic detachment that allows one to view life as if he and those around him were actors on a stage. To the wise, this world is a great stage upon which souls merely play different transient roles that they have chosen for themselves in the unfoldment of their karma. On the stage, actors may play the roles of terrible enemies, but when they are rehearsing or just relaxing, they no longer uphold the values they maintain while acting. Similarly, the various events that occur in your life, the various interactions with people who seem to be friends or foes, all are superficial. Inwardly, you and those you interact with are the immutable and eternal divine self, untouched by all human dramas. For those who have faith in what has been shared, what I just read, the sign of faith is following through. If you are following through, there is a change in you. Inside Rama, outside drama. Right now it's the opposite. Inside drama, outside drama somewhere. This chapter, Prince Arjuna asks about Tyaga and Sannyasa. Tyaga is renouncing results, Sannyasa is surrendering actions. If someone is following through with Yajna Tapa Dana, this is Sri Krishna's answer to Prince Arjuna's question, they will naturally be fulfilled. They will be engaged in a self-reward system. And so, renouncing results and surrendering actions will also be natural. This is not a formality for them. It is not an externality. Yajna Tapa Dana is our dharma. It is our responsibility. And so Shri Krishna is sharing, I have manifested for dharma samstapana. That is to strengthen dharma. You too have manifested for this purpose. If I'm tending to this at a macro level, you are to tend to this in a micro level. Pujaswami Tejramananda had shared how Yajna Tapadana works in terms of dharma samstapana. When we engage in tapa, or renunciation, this is us offering to Adhi Atmika. This is us growing our inner world. When we offer dana or contribution, this is us supporting Adhi Bhautika. From the inner world to the outer world. I'm growing, so naturally I'm going to be a cause for growth in the outer world. And yajna is an offering to Adi Daivika, that which is not gross, but that which is a subtle dimension beyond this outer world. We chant Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. For inside, outside, and far away, Tapa Dana Yajna manifests this. This becomes real. The last two verses, Sri Krishna is emphasizing to evolve from doing to being. The strongest doing is, I'm the doer and deserver. This is dismantled by, I'm the doer but not the deserver. This is dismantled fully by, I am not the doer. That is being. One will feel this. If one is following through, one will feel this. One will go from shochati to shanti. From crying to contentment. This message of evolving from doing to being is constant. It is comprehensive in the Bhagavad Gita. You have been given 1,000 tips on how to do this. Still, I will share more. Some of this you have heard, some of this you have not heard. To evolve from doing to being, the most effective way is to remember. Remember divinity. If you remember divinity, how can you ever feel you're the deserver, that you're the doer? By remembering divinity, by remembering all who have helped you, this acknowledgement leads one to feel that they are not the doer. One step down from this is less effective, but still effective, is to serve. Remember to serve. Serve the doer that is greater than you. Be an instrument. If you are, certainly you'll give up deservership, and partially you'll give up doership too. I'm not the player, I'm the instrument. Remember, serve, and here's the third, share. Sharing is not me giving up doership, not me giving up doership, deservership, but it's a practice in me giving up deservership. Whatever comes to you, share. In our culture, prasada, when you get a fruit or a result, it is to be shared, and whatever's left over is for yourself. I feel we've totally reoriented that. I keep for myself, and whatever's left over I share, almost like, and this is a stark reality, when we give to food banks, do you give food that you would eat? Or food you wouldn't eat? Some would give food that they would eat too, but most wouldn't. But if I'm really following through with dana, I will give what I would want to eat, and whatever's left over, I will eat. On Saturday, Vyasa had his first tooth come out. And I was sleeping beside him in the hotel, so at night I put two $10 bills underneath his pillow. And the next morning he was elated that he got $20, and I told him, no, the tooth fairy came and whispered in my ear so that you'd still sleep, that you only get $10 if you give $10. So that day, and we were in Toronto, so there's a lot of people who don't have homes, he had to give $10 before he got to keep his $10. Do you think tooth fairy culture is like that? Tooth fairy culture should be like that, correct? We continue into verse 16. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyaha pashyatya krita buddhitvat nasa pashyati durmatihi. Joy. Anyone who's not resonating with verse 14 and 15, one should be reflecting on, why don't I resonate with this? Shri Krishna is explaining in this verse. 2. In contrast to what I have taught in verse 14 and 15, yaha tatra evam sati. The one who feels it is a fact, what is their feeling about? Kartaram atmanam kevalam. The doer is the spirit alone. Their understanding of the spirit is that the spirit is not being, but the spirit is doing. So they already feel that they are the spirit because they're already oriented towards doing. Shared in a simpler way, this first line is explaining how one who doesn't understand verses 14 and 15 only believes in the relative. For them, there is no absolute. For them, even the spirit is doing and is so relative. The spirit is not being and so is not absolute. Why? The first reason is akrita buddhitvat. It is an intellect. that is not being used. Their intellect is not trained. How do you know that this is a description of your intellect? That you're using this potent equipment to instruct rather than inquire. This intellect is to inquire into who are you? Why are you? Not just to-do lists, not just to be busy. Here's the second reason why I'm unable to follow through with these 5 factors and reach spirit or being or absolute. It is durmati. My mind, I am not using either. I'm using my mind for the relative instead of the absolute. How do you know this describes your mind? The mind interprets. The intellect ever instructs, the mind ever interprets. This person's like this, and that's like that, and judgment, and labels. How to come out of this? Chant with the mind. Chant, I am joy. Chant, Om Namah Shivaya. Pashyati, they're seeing. Sa na pashyati, but they're not seeing. They're seeing, they feel they're the relative, so they see the relative. But we've already studied this phrase many times in the Bhagavad Gita. Seeing is to evolve to vision. That is where your seeing is backed by insight, by knowledge. That is lacking for those who are not using their intellect and mind. I'm reading one insight from Pujya Swami Chinmayananda, and then we'll shift to our application. The moment an individual becomes aware of these inner mechanisms and their play, the delusory, egocentric individually ends as it becomes a mere myth of the mind, a delusory phantom of a midsummer midday dream. When you use your mind and intellect in the right way, that third factor, it starts to pierce the fourth factor, which is the ego, and starts to feel the fifth factor, which is the spirit. From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was to sign up to read Bhagavad Gita's chapter 18 using Swami Chinmayananda's commentary. How many of you have signed up? I expect to see everyone's hands. When you read, you get to feel those words more. This is why I'm encouraging you to do this. It's not like I question your ability to read. I'm only challenging your ability to feel. And I've told our crew, our coordinators, when seekers are to read, they're to read slowly. Your application for this morning, for some of you it's easy, for the others it'll be hard. I want you to feel that you know nothing. Just feel that you know nothing. Try to reflect on that. Try to live like that. Again, some big smiles, thumbs up. We got this, Vivekji. We were trained for this. For others, this will be more difficult. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be joy.